Some of the darkest crimes are not committed by strangers lurking in the shadows, but by the very people who live inside the same house. Crimes that grow quietly behind closed doors, hidden behind smiles, until one day the truth bursts into the light and horrifies everyone who hears it. This is one such story, the shocking case of a stepfather and his stepdaughter, bound not by love or trust, but by a terrible secret that no one was supposed to find out about. When the truth finally came out, it destroyed lives, exposed failures, and left a scar that still lingers. It all began with what seemed like a normal family arrangement. A mother remarried, bringing her daughter into a blended household. On the surface, it looked stable. Neighbors saw a family that seemed ordinary. The stepfather worked. The mother kept up appearances, and the stepdaughter was a bright young girl who deserved safety and care. But behind that picture-perfect mask was a truth so dark that even the closest friends and relatives had no idea what was happening. The stepfather presented himself as a responsible man, someone who stepped in to support his new family. He charmed those around him with polite conversation, steady work, and the image of reliability. But that was only the surface. Behind closed doors, he was manipulative, controlling, and dangerous. He built a world of fear and silence, where the stepdaughter became his target. At first, the abuse was hidden in subtle ways. A controlling word here, an intimidating look there. The young girl began to withdraw, her once bright personality dimming under the weight of something she could not share. Teachers noticed she was quieter. Friends saw less of her. She seemed to be fading, but no one pressed hard enough to uncover why. The secret stayed inside the walls of her home, where her stepfather made sure she stayed silent. As time went on, the abuse grew worse. The stepfather used threats to keep control. He warned her that no one would believe her. He told her that speaking out would destroy her family. Trapped between fear and shame, the girl carried the unbearable weight of silence. She was too young to fight back, too isolated to reach for help, and too frightened to believe there was a way out. But secrets rarely stay hidden forever. The first cracks appeared when the girl confided small hints to a close friend. It was not a full confession, just fragments of fear and sadness. Her friend sensed something was wrong, but at that age, neither of them fully understood the gravity of the situation. Eventually, those whispers found their way to a teacher who noticed the stepdaughter's unusual behavior and decided to report it. Child Protective Services became involved, but the stepfather's manipulation extended beyond his home. He convinced investigators that nothing was wrong. He presented himself as a caring father figure. The mother, either unwilling to see the truth or too afraid to admit it, supported his claims. Once again, the stepdaughter was silenced, her words drowned out by adults who controlled the narrative. Months passed, and the abuse continued. It was a nightmare the girl endured day after day, each moment a reminder that she was trapped. But fate has a way of pulling secrets into the light. One night, after an especially violent confrontation, the stepdaughter ran from the house. Terrified and desperate, she found her way to a neighbor's home and begged for help. This time, the words came pouring out. Through tears and fear, she revealed the terrible secret she had been forced to keep. The police were called immediately. When investigators entered the home, they found evidence that supported her story. Journals she had hidden, physical injuries, and small details that could no longer be explained away. The stepfather was arrested on the spot, his mask of control ripped away for the first time. What followed was a courtroom battle that exposed everything. Prosecutors built a case that laid out the abuse in painful detail. They described how the stepfather had manipulated, threatened, and harmed the girl for years. They showed the ways he had silenced her, the systems he had fooled, and the damage he had inflicted on a young life that should have been filled with safety and love. The defense tried to cast doubt, suggesting the girl was exaggerating or fabricating the story. But the evidence was too strong. The journals, the physical proof, and the testimony of experts painted a chilling picture. The jury listened in silence, horrified by the cruelty they were hearing. When the verdict came, it was clear. The stepfather was guilty. The sentence was long and heavy. The judge spoke directly to the man, condemning his betrayal of trust, his cruelty, and the way he had destroyed the innocence of a child who had relied on him. For the stepdaughter, the verdict was a moment of validation. Proof that her voice had finally been heard, but it was also bittersweet. No sentence could erase the years of pain she had endured. The story sparked outrage in the community and beyond. People asked how such abuse could go unnoticed for so long. How could the warning signs have been missed? How could the system have failed to protect a child even when hints were reported? These questions ignited debates about child welfare, mandatory reporting, and the responsibility of adults to listen when children show signs of fear. For the stepdaughter, the journey did not end with the trial. Healing from such trauma is a long and painful process. She carried scars that no one could see, memories that haunted her even in moments of safety. But she also carried strength. By speaking out, by breaking the silence, she not only freed herself but also inspired others to come forward. Her bravery became a light in the darkness, proof that even in the face of cruelty, resilience is possible. What makes this case so chilling is not just the abuse itself, but the betrayal at its core. A stepfather is meant to step into a child's life as a protector, a supporter, someone who helps build a safe environment. In this case, he became the very source of terror. He used his position of trust to manipulate and control, turning the home into a prison. That betrayal is what makes this story unforgettable. The memory of this case continues to serve as a warning. It reminds us that evil can exist where we least expect it. It can hide behind polite smiles, behind the appearance of normal families, and behind the roles that are supposed to guarantee safety. It teaches us that when children show fear, when their light begins to dim, those signs must never be ignored. Because silence in the face of warning signs can allow monsters to keep their secrets hidden. The aftermath of the case also revealed something haunting. Many people around the family had noticed subtle signs but dismissed them as normal family struggles. Neighbors recalled hearing arguments. Relatives remembered the girl becoming quieter at gatherings, and teachers saw changes in her behavior. Yet each sign was brushed aside with excuses or assumptions. Looking back, many admitted feeling guilt, wondering if stepping forward sooner might have saved her from years of suffering. That reflection became a painful lesson for the entire community. When a child shows fear, hesitation, or unusual silence, it must always be taken seriously. Ignoring those signs can allow a predator to keep hiding in plain sight. This was the secret of the stepfather and stepdaughter that no one was supposed to find out about. A secret that lived in the shadows until one night it finally came to light. It shocked a community, broke a system, and left scars that will never fully heal. But it also showed the power of truth, the strength of survival, and the importance of never turning away when someone is crying out for help, even if their voice is small, trembling, or hidden in silence. No movie could ever capture the depth of this story, because fiction cannot replicate the reality of betrayal, fear, and survival. This was real. It was raw. And it will always be remembered as a reminder of how fragile safety can be and how vital it is to protect those who cannot protect themselves.